Gurave Gaura Chanda Radhika Tadare Krishna Krishna Bhakta Tadbhakta Namo Namo. So, first of all, I offer pranams to Gurudev for Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Our Shiksha Gurus Nitya Leela Prashid, Gaura Govinda Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, all devotees. Hare Krishna. So yesterday was Appearance Day of Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. You've heard of him?
No, I haven't.
Today's your lucky day. Disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you hear about his life, really astonishing. Especially his writing was very beautiful. Many things he wrote. Prabhupada, when we said Prabhupada, we meant Saraswati Thakur. So Prabhupada told him, your pen should never stop. So even when he was like 100, 101, still he'd be writing. So by hearing the lives of the Vaisnavas, this becomes so much powerful for us. Because Krishna is doing his Leela. This is powerful, but not so much relevant to our situation it may be. But Vaishnava's pastimes, this makes medicine for us. Guru Maharaj said, when we speak and we think, oh, I'm not doing that, then by speaking these things, then inspiration will come, oh, I should do. So he's, especially how much love he had for Prabhupada, how much love he had. No? So he was born in a Brahmin family, and his name was Pramod Bhushan. So his first two brothers had died or something before his birth. So his mother, when he was born, mother gave like 3 copper coins to Lord Shiva. I'm selling my son to you. That means you're responsible for him, no? I'm selling to you. So 3 copper coins is called Tinku. That was his nickname. Tinku. But Pramod Bhushan was his real name. So he met the disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur not had many disciples, but Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj met one of them. His good name I cannot remember. But from him so much he became introduced to the conception of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Then he decided to go to Mayapur for darshan. This is an amazing story. So that day he went to Mayapur was the day that Gokashadas Babaji Maharaj left this world. So when Babaji Maharaj left, then many people were fighting. We want to do the samadhi. We want to do the samadhi because good chance to do business. No? You make a samadhi, then so many donations will come, especially some famous person. No? So Didi always said, this is doing business. Always people want to do business in the name of Gurudev. In the name of Gurudev, doing what they like, for their benefit. Like what we've been talking about a lot. So, that time when he arrived there, there was big fight. Who will give the samadhi to Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj? Pramod Bhushan was just there. Didn't know anything, first time in Mayapur. And many, like renounced persons, like not sannyasis, but Babajis and celibates. Oh, I will give the samadhi, I will give the samadhi. That time Saraswati Thakur, he was still brahmachari, he had not taken sannyas yet. So he said, I am the one and only disciple of my Guru Maharaj. Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj, when he gave Bimal Prasad's Diksha, then he took some dust of Mayapur, put it on his head. Means what higher thing is that? The dust of the Dham. At that time he gave the name Sri Balshabha Navi Devi Dayati Das. So Brinda is pretty easy, but Sri Balshabha Navi Devi Dayati Das, one who given everything for the service of Radhika, the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So Prabhupada was saying, I am the one and only disciple of Babaji Maharaj, therefore I will give samadhi. Then the Babajis were arguing, but you are not in the renounced order. You not took like official sannyas or anything like. So only sannyasi can give samadhi to sannyas. So they were arguing. Then it said in a voice like thunder. He said, I am only one and true celibate, not like you monkeys. So they were arguing. Then Saraswati Thakur said, if any of Babaji's here with spotless character, who have not been with a woman in 6 months, that means even by mind, if anyone here really spotless character, then they can give they can give samadhi to my Gurudev. I have no objection. But if you have impure character and you try to give, then you will be destroyed. At that time also they were trying to tie some rope around the feet of Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj and drag him by horse. Because Babaji Maharaj, when he was leaving his body, said, I could not do any bhajan. No, I could not do any bhajan. No, I wasted my life. So when I die, you drag my body through the streets, then I can be purified by the dust of the down. So this is Vaishnava humility. Like Vrindavan Das Thakur knows. I am lower than a worm in stool. I am worse than Jagai-Mata. Is it true? Should we think like that? No. Yes, he said he is a worm in stool, so he is a worm in stool. No. This is their divine humility. No. So many times they speak like that. Like this Mangalati. There was argument. Bhaman Goswami Maharaj would say, because at the end of the Mangalati, our Gurudev's Gurudev, part of Gurudev, he would, what is it? Because many years we're not saying it. Abhaga Kohe Krishna Das. Keshav Goswami Maharaj said, I am very unfortunate and fallen.
Abhagya.
I'm no good fortune. I am very fallen. Dina.
Abhagya Keshava Das Namasankirtan.
So, then I said to Gurudev, but Gurudev, what part of Gurudev has written? How can we change that? Then Gurudev was laughing. You can think your Guru is very fallen, no harm, but I cannot think my Guru is very fallen. So this is Vaishnava humility. So people not understanding his words, they were actually tying a rope around his feet to drag him through the streets. And Saraswati Thakur stopped that. No, we cannot misunderstand his words. No. Even my Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, would feel very honored to carry the divine, we don't say body, the divine vigraha of my Gurudev. Like when Haridas Thakur left this world, Mahaprabhu picked him up and dancing with so much affection, so much respect. So don't misunderstand his words. Then the fight was who will give samadhi. Oh, so anyone here, these Babajis, who not in 6 months not touched a woman, they may give samadhi to our Gurudev. I have no objection. Then no one came forward because all doing something. Okay, if someone in the last 3 months not touched a woman, they may give sannyas. They may give samadhi. No one came forward. If someone in 1 month, 2 weeks, 3 days, since last night, then no one came forward. Everyone feared. Then the policeman was watching, who was superintending all this. He was astonished. Then alone, Saraswati Thakur alone, he took and gave samadhi. So Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj saw all this. Prabhupada alone against all these persons, fighting. That was his first darshan of Prabhupada. So already he had contact through, his name was the disciple of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I cannot remember his name. Anyway, maybe it will come later. So at that time, Saraswati Thakur began his preaching in Calcutta. They had rented one house, Ultadanga Roads, there, and he called it the Bhaktivinoda Asam, the seat of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Means from this place we'll preach the conception of Bhaktivinoda. So he would give lectures there, and this Pramod Bhushan would go and hear Prabhupada when he got a chance. So one day he was going for the lecture, then he put his shoes on to run for the lecture, but in the shoes was one scorpion. Then that scorpion bit his foot, and you can imagine so much pain. He said pus was coming out, and that pus was blood, black. But he said that time was my purvanurag. Like when you meet a girl first time or boy first time, then how are you feeling? So much attachment. So he said that was my purvanurag. That time I had so much affection for Prabhupada. So when the scorpion bit, he had no feeling, but I cannot waste my time for this because I have to go and hear Prabhupada speak. So he ran. So he had that much enthusiasm for hearing Katha. No? That is even before his initiation. Gurudev would also give so much importance to hearing. No? If people were making garlands in the back, no. The time of when we get a chance to hear, we should give up everything and come and hear. No? So he had that greed. Bhagavatam says, Svanustapums Visvaksena Katasut. Any activity we do which does not increase our taste for hearing about Krishna, that is like useless activity. So he was going, then he took initiation. Then Prabhupada gave him the name Pranavananda. Pranav is Omkar, no? Pranavananda. So from Tinku to Pramod to Pranavananda. And he was sannyas that time, Saraswati Thakur was preaching. There are 3 mridangas. The one is the clay mridanga, that always vibrates for Krishna Kirtan. So that is one mridanga. Then he would call the sannyasis the Chetan mridanga, the conscious mridanga. Not that you should beat them, but they should always be vibrating Harikatha. And he called the printing press the Brihat mridanga, because the sound of the mridanga go 50 meters, 100 meters. But the sound of the Brihat Madanga, the printing press, that will spread Harikatha of the whole planet. So Saraswati Thakur mission, if you look at it, so much he gave emphasis to that. Give everyone a chance to somehow contact some Harikatha. Many people cannot hear lecture, but everyone can read a book. So he was printing books, of course in local audio language, especially all the works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gurudev said if Saraswati Thakur had not come, then all the books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur would be sitting in some cupboard being eaten by termites. So he took and printed and distributed the works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had more than 120 books. So that was his main things. Of course he was Prabhupada writing his own books, his own commentaries on the Upanishads and many things, Bhagavad, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Beautiful commentaries written there on Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that was going on, also in Orissa, Sanskrit, Bengali, English, and the South Indian languages, Tamil. This was all going on from his printing press in Kolkata. So Pramod was put in charge of this, especially Saraswati Thakur made a daily newspaper, the Nadia Prakash. The Bhagavat was the monthly magazine, but he made a daily newspaper. Then someone said, Prabhupada, how a daily newspaper can be there? How is it possible? Then Prabhupada said, the material world is only 1/4 of the entire creation. The 3/4 is Vaikuntha. Therefore it's called Tripad. So the material world only a little section. So this, and in the material world, we are one little universe. I've heard this. 4 quadrillion universes. Imagine that. And our universe is one of the smallest, because Brahma only have 4 heads. So our universe is very small. Like some Brahmas have 100,000 heads, 1 million heads. You can imagine the size of those universes. So when Mahavishnu breathes out, the big universe comes first. And when he finishes his breath, then the little universes come out close to Mahavishnu. So our universe is one of the last created and the first inhaled. So there's one universe, then the Earth planet, how small? On the Earth planet is a little city of Calcutta. How many newspapers in Calcutta? 20. How many radio stations? How many this? How many that? So in one little city of Calcutta, there's 20 newspapers. Imagine that there's no shortage of material to write about the Vaikunthas. So he made a daily newspaper. Nowadays, everything is quite easy, right? Cut, paste, Google search, now AI, everything's so easy. But that time, they have to typeset each letter, if you see the old printing presses. So he did that seva for many years, like 10, 12, 15 years, a daily newspaper. As well as every day he would chant 64 rounds. He would often talk about that. If we cannot chant 64 rounds, we are considered fallen condition. Even in old age, he would do Nirjala Kadasi, and all night not sleep, I saw. All night he not sleep on a Kadasi, chanting Harinam. Of course, we cannot become like that, but At least hearing is something. Oh. He was also very expert at singing. That time was all India radio, like we have ABC, IBS here in Australia. So many times he was a very expert singer. Then always he was near Prabhupada in Mayapur, because many questions. What is this article? And they would show to Prabhupada before they would print. So he had that good fortune always being with Prabhupada. Especially he was very intimate with Vinod, that is Bhakti Pragyan Kesar Maharaj. Because Kesar Maharaj was in charge of all this Chaitanya Math. He was in charge of everything. So very close and intimate relationships they had for many years. Then Saraswati Thakur developed his pastimes of sickness. The doctors would say to him, don't speak katha, don't speak so much. So when the disciples would ask, Prabhupada, how are you? He would say, I'm very good, but I'm unfortunately not able to speak about Krishna, so how can I be good? My life have no meaning. So Prabhupada ended his pastimes there in Calcutta. He made big Bag Bazaar Gaudiya Math. So Pranavananda, he was doing that seva. Like looking, Prabhupada is okay. Then if you read it, it's very touching. Pramod Puri Maharaj was thinking, when Prabhupada leaves, what will happen to us? So he held the feet of Prabhupada on his chest and cried. Oh Prabhupada, when you leave, what will happen? Then Prabhupada blessed him. Then it was time for the next people to come for service. Everyone do like 6 hours or 8 hours. Then the next shift would come. So he left. That time Prabhupada also left. When Saraswati Thakur left, then all the clocks in the mat stopped at exactly that time. Can you imagine? Like a miracle. Then everyone was so much, of course, sad. And then some disciples, they were smarters. They said, now we will do the cremation of Saraswati Thakur according to the smarter rites. But we do not follow that because we're the Vaishnavas. No? So when high-class Vaishnavas leave, we don't burn them. We give samadhi. So many disciples wanted to burn Prabhupada, like cremation. Then Bhakti Pragyan Kesar Maharaj, he was only brahmachari, but he said, if you want to cremate Prabhupada, you have to cremate me first. So he stopped that. And he arranged a train, own special train to take Prabhupada to Mayapur. They did the samadhi ceremony there. So many wonderful things about Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. So then many fighting began in Chaitanya Math. People want to become this, I'm this temple in charge, this temple in charge. So Pramod, to avoid this unnecessary fighting, then he went to Ambika Kalna. There was one temple of Ananta Shesh there. So for many years he stayed there, not alone of course, but on the veranda of the temple he stayed and did seva there for Ananta Vasudeva. The king of Puri heard about his character and then he donated that temple to him and they made it up nice. So he was often called Pujari Maharaj because he was very expert in all and very knowledgeable in worship of the deities, especially in the installation of the deities. If you read Hari Bhakti Vilas, they give many rules how to install the deity properly. Because we cannot just go to the shop and buy a deity of Krishna and that become Bhagavan. That's just a statue. But when the pure devotee install Krishna, Pran Pratish they call it. They install Krishna. Means then Krishna accepts the form of the deity to accept the worship of that devotee. Therefore we do not call deity, we call Vigraha. Graha means to accept. So when Krishna accepts a form in this world, because devotee feeling so much separation, so when Krishna accepts a form of the deity, out of compassion for that devotee, that is called Pran Pratishta. So not everyone can install deity, This is not for everyone. So he installed the deities on most of the temples in the Gaudiya Math. Even Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, Never been there?
Probably have, I can't really remember. Did we go there? Yeah.
So those deities, that's Gurudev's temple in Vrindavan. Those deities installed by him. Most of the deities everywhere in Gaudiya Math installed by him. So people would call him Pujari Maharaj. some people would criticize him because generally the worship of the deity is for the beginning devotee. So they would criticize him. He is Kanishthadikar. Then when he heard this, he not became angry. He said, oh, he became very happy. Finally, I became some type of Vaishnava. After many years, finally I entered into Vaishnavism because someone accepted me as Kanishthadikar. But he had very, very deep, every morning, they say 2-3 hours every morning he would worship the deities. I heard his Gayatri would take 1 hour, 2 hours Gayatri every morning. Right? I'm not driving the car and doing Gayatri. What is that? That's a terrible thing. Right? 10 minutes to forget this world and do it. Because Gayatri mantras give relationship. That's why we give. That's why Gurudev, these Gayatri mantras give Divya Gyan. They give Diksha. Diksha means relationship. So we're doing this and doing Gayatri mantra. It would work really nicely for us. So his Gayatri mantra would take an hour and a half. Then I heard someone asked him, why your Gayatri mantra takes so long? It takes all of us 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Why it takes you an hour and a half? And he said, because all the deities that I've installed, I know people are not doing proper service to them. So every morning in his meditation, all the deities he installed, because he's responsible, he would do worship of each deity as he would do his Gayatri mantras. That's why his Gayatri took an hour and a half. So I heard one story one night. He was very cold, like shaking, like freezing cold at night. Then he called the pujari. Did you put the blanket on the deity? Go and check. He went, no blanket. So cold. So Krishna felt, the deity felt cold, and he also felt cold. How much? Another time the blanket caught fire. People put some stove, electric stove, and the blanket caught fire, then some burning he felt. They went and saw the deity room full of smoke. So he's teaching us by his example. So he was very ideal, very ideal. He had very intimate relation with Gurudev. Very intimate relationship. Because when Gurudev left home, he left his wife and children, I think that was 1946. Then he came to his Gurudev, that time his Gurudev, Bhakti-Pragyan Kesi Maharaj, was living in Chinchura, like north of Calcutta, between Mayapur and Calcutta. So Gurudev joined his Gurudev and he stayed there like 1 year. That time Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj was staying. So for 1 year, or 6 months at least, Gurudev was with him. And serving him, like bringing his lunch, maybe definitely washing cloth. So every morning they would go for baths together in the Ganga. Then Gurudev, when he left home, he didn't take anything, but he took one drinking cup, lota. So Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj would always, this reminds you of your wife. Because wife is like that. Something like this, they would joke like that. Then one morning they went to take bath and Gurudev put his cup there and Pramod Puri Maharaj put his cloth. They took bath in the Ganga. And when they come out, it was gone. Some wave of the Ganga had taken the cloth and everything, and the lota. Then Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj became angry. Why you put my cloth there? Now it's gone. And he became angry and said, you are a useless fellow. Completely useless. All you can do is write books. Then whenever Gurudev would write a book, he would send to Puri Maharaj. Oh, because you blessed me by your curse, this is the result of your curse, this book. So very much close relationship was there. One time Gurudev said, no, Puri Maharaj told him, I not make any disciples, but if I make a disciple, I would make you. So Puri Maharaj was saying, if you want to take Diksha, then Gurudev was laughing. Before I take the initiation, I have to ask permission from my Guru. It's a very intimate relation I have. Puri Maharaj, and he became like the leader of the Guru of all the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma. That means everyone looked to him for like any final conclusion or any like answer or some meaning of Shastra or some controversy. He became like Guru of everyone. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma. Like Gurudev did after him. Any problem, any question, everyone would go to Gurudev for some advice. So he took sannyas from one of his god brothers, Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Maharaj. And many years stayed with his godbrothers. He would live in their temples. He would not initiate, and he would just do seva. For Bhakti Daita Madhava Maharaj, many years, like 20 years he lived there. Then in old age, he made his own temple, the Gopinath Gaudiya Math. If you go to Mayapur, you'll see just past the ghat before ISKCON there, very nice. There's deities of Lakshmi Nrsimha, Radha Gopinath, and who's on the other side? Anyway, those two must be going inside there. Must be Mahaprabhu there somewhere. So I had good fortune 1994. No, it would have been 1995. I had good fortune. I stayed there with him maybe 2 weeks. Because we used to go to Singapore for collecting money for the temple. So I came back early, then Gopinath was not coming, so I thought I'll stay there. So good fortune I could stay with Puri Maharaj for 2 weeks. And every night he would give darshan. Every night. So we'd go in his room. His room was very small. And he had one bed, and on him the bookshelf just full of all books. So, because in old age he was very bent over, like a half moon. Because he was like more than 100 that time. So every night we would go to his room, and many things we would ask him. That time someone gave him this book, Heart of Krishna. Someone had put it to English. So I was there in the room so he'd printed this book, and Gopinath Maharaj had made a magazine. So when I came to Mayapur, I gave Puri Maharaj that magazine. Then he was looking at it, reading. Then he said, "Oh, this is our book, Heart of Krishna." He said, "It is full of hundreds of mistakes. No educated person will take us seriously." He said that. So anyone would give him anything, he would offer that to his big picture of his Guru Deva. So anyone would give him 1 rupee or a banana, and he would offer to Prabhupada, then he would put on his head like that. So humble. Everyone speaks about his humility. Like I was just watching a video of Gurudev chastising Padmanabh. All sannyasis should be so humble, not like him. Not that is Padmanabh Maharaj's fault, but then he was so much the embodiment of humility, so humble. Like I was not even initiated, and I asked, "Can I do any service for you?" Then he said, "Yes, if you give me your mercy, then I can understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." But really, he was not joking, which was the scary thing. Because higher Vaishnava think everyone is high, except everyone is serving Krishna, except for me. Only I am devoid of that. Of course, this feeling that is not something superimposed, is a natural Vaishnava humility. If we have those feelings, then we can chant Krishna's name properly, like Mahaprabhu said, Trinada Pisunichana Torori Vasuhishna Amanina Kirtanya Sarahari. Gopinath said, make a list of everyone in the universe when you put your name last. When you feel like that, then you can chant Krishna's name properly. So he had this feeling, alokik, transcendental humility. So one time someone asked him, because in ISKCON it's quite difficult to get initiated, right? You have to be 1 year, 6 months in the temple. You get some letter of recommendation, the Guru watches you for another 6 months. Then you get Harinam, and a few years later maybe you get second initiation. But in Gaudiya Math, it can be, you walk in and same day you get Harinam and Diksha. So someone asked Puri Maharaj, "Maharaj, why you give initiation very easily?" No, it was a French person. Gurudev said, all French are crazy. So this Frenchman asked that question when I was there. No? Then Puri Maharaj said, no, what can I do? They are coming to my door, they are begging, they are fasting, please give me, please give me. So what can I do? No. But I give and they disappear. And he said, all are cheating me. He said, all my disciples cheating me. Take initiation, promise I will do, then gone. And he said, I wish I had one real disciple. Then he began crying, my God. He said his hand was shaking. You see this? Before I was Guru, I was never sick. Now look at me. my devotion is completely destroyed. And when I die, I don't know what will happen to me. Where will I go? And he was crying. Such a difficult service to the Guru. We were watching that. Many. In 2 weeks, that is only 2 weeks, but many wonderful things we saw. He was very affectionate to his god brothers. All god brothers who nobody wanted, they would stay with him. And he would give them always take care, give them nice room and everything. So, end of his pastimes, Gurudev went to see him when Gurudev went to Australia first time, 96. End of 96, beginning of 97, Gurudev went to Puri. So we also went to Puri. I remember we stayed for 3 weeks or something with Gurudev in Puri. Every day we'd go for swimming in the ocean, blah blah. Then Gurudev went to see Pramod Puri Maharaj. So I was lucky, I went there. A long time they were talking. Then Gurudev was asking him many questions. Oh Maharaj, many people think, about Siddha Pranali, many people, like when you come in the stage of bhav, and just, because many lifetimes we forgot our soul, but soul also had hands and legs and dress and name, service, parents, house, abode, a special service. We have all these things, but we have forgotten. So when disciples trying to catch all these things, 11 ekadas, 11 moods, then Guru that time may give some help, Siddha Pranali. That means that disciple is already almost perfect, but just little push, little help. So Gurudev was asking, oh, Maharaj, many people think in the stage of Kanishadikari, in beginning stage of devotion, they should also get the Siddha Pranali. What do you think of that? So all these very high topics they were speaking. So I heard Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj used to say about Gurudev, on Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he is the best weapon against the sahajas. You know sahajas, Radha? What are you doing? You have to read a little bit. When was the last time you read anything? Jai Vedana?
Probably several months ago. Oh no, actually, it was a few weeks ago with that guy.
Every day we have to read something. If we don't read or don't hear, then my brain just becomes like a mushroom. We forget everything. If we cannot hear, then we have to read. Otherwise, Gurudev would say, why am I writing all these books?
What's the mushroom, right?
Day and night, why am I writing all these books? Who for? These are for my disciples. So, all this had a point. What was the point?
To read every day.
No, Gurudev was asking Maharaj, what do we do? What do we do with these people that come and ask?
No, I cannot remember. For some reason I was discussing that. So Puri Maharaj, even in old age, he would write all these things. And Gurudev was asking all these type of questions, very high questions. So the sahajas are those who do not follow the correct process to achieve perfection. They manifest their own artificial process. So Pramod Puri Maharaj said, Narayan Goswami is the best weapon against these class of persons. Even he became 100 years old. Imagine. That time he was like so much bent over. And they had big Vyasa Puja in Jagannath Puri. I could not go. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Vaisnavas went. And people were pouring flowers and millions of garlands.
So Puri Maharaj just
Pramod Puri Maharaj. Then he was speaking. He was speaking about this Vyasa Puja. And he said, I am the dog of Prabhupada. I am the dog of Prabhupada. Where does the dog sit? At feet of the master. So all these flowers, all these offerings, all these glorifications, these are not for me. These are for Prabhupada. But sometimes some of the flowers and some of the garlands fall onto the dog. That is me. So he said, I am the dog of Prabhupada.
What year did he pass?
1999.
Yeah, 1999. I seen him in 97
Wow, there you go.
in my pool.
So in many ways, in all ways, actually so much ideal. For his Harinam, even old age, every day he would do 64 rounds. If you read his writings, if you get a chance, his writings are very... I've never met anyone who writes like him so beautifully. He wrote one book, The Art of Sadhana. This big book like that is very nice. Another one he wrote, In Separation, all his feelings towards Prabhupada, his guru. All these stories we're a little bit telling, this all come from him. So he was very expert in writing. His writings are very beautiful. This Heart of Krishna, if you read this, then you can understand how careful we should be of Vaisnava-parampara. So, anyway, yesterday was his appearance day. There it is. What's it called? In Love and Separation. Have you read this? It's a beautiful thing. So today we want a little bit speak about him. We can remember him. Hari Guru Vaishnava Tinira Smaran Hoy Vigna Vinasana. By remembering the Vaishnavas, then all obstacles we have in spiritual life are destroyed. Rather, when doing Gayatri, what are we doing? Every time we remember Gurudev, remember Gauranga, remember Radha Krishna. So if we can remember Vaishnavas, then all obstacles we have, and our life is full of obstacles. Why we're suffering? Obstacles. That is all destroyed by remembrance of Vaishnavas. So these days, their appearance days, their disappearance days, so much important. But normally most of the days we're just forgetful of everything, but these days we can hear something, we can remember. So Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Any questions, Brinda?
No, I don't have any questions.
Why not wearing Tulsi?
I
am pathetic. That's all we have to say. I am pathetic. Don't give up. I know difficult all these children in work. Something we have to do, otherwise we'll fall completely. We might not do very much, but a little bit we can do. A little bit. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even a little bit of this dharma can save one from the greatest fear. Okay, we're not Bhakti Pramod Puri, we're not Haridas Thakur. we're not even a flea on the dog. But something we have to. Okay, we cannot be the dog. We can become the flea on the dog. Somehow catching. So something we have to do. Some bhajan, some remembrance. You have Tulsi at home?
No, I don't think Gopi has anything.
Don't blame Gopi. Say Tulsi. Huh? Yeah.
Which one?
This is not just for her, this is for everyone.
There's a single one and there's a double one. It can be probably triple if it may.
Anyway, don't give up fully. It's not easy. Maya is very merciless.
Oh, I'll see if this one fits me.
By being digested day and night. Okay. Rather try and come India. Germany, not so much benefit there.
Well, I should visit the temples there.
Oh, I thought I was going to, but...
Anyway, don't give up. We have not given up on you coming to India.
I never said I wasn't going to.
So Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ki